I would recommend Studyiq mock interview very highly, and the experience was very good. The arrangement of the institute and the coordination of the faculty members, they were really good.
Yes, it was a good experience and I recommend it to others as well.
I will highly recommend everyone who is preparing for civil service, especially for interview.
My overall experience was very nice. I would highly recommend people to give mocks here.
The quality of board members were very good. So yes, I will definitely recommend it.
Definitely the interview experience was very good.
It was an overall nice experience, and yes, I would be recommending it to others as well.
Yes, ma'am, certainly.
Yes, I would recommend.
I would definitely recommend. I will recommend you highly that you should have once a conversation in Studyiq as well.
आइए प्लीज.
नमस्ते सर.
आइए. नमस्कारम. नमस्कारम. बैठिए प्लीज. Your interview is in English or Hindi?
English sir.
English?
Yes sir.
अच्छा, तो आपने नमस्कार क्यों किया?
Sir, I think that Namaskar is a way that helps unite the country in terms of greeting. It is common to all the states, and I have lived in a lot of states, so this is one thing I find common to all of them.
We were talking about your having lived almost half of the country. लेकिन उसमें do we fold our hands when we say good morning?
Sir, we might, but most of the times I can recall we don't when it comes to good morning.
थोड़ा louder बोलिए फिर मजा आएगा.
Yes sir.
Yeah, because you have to go through the entire proceedings.
Yes sir.
So you start well.
Sure sir.
You are not feeling cold, I hope?
No sir, I'm good, thank you.
Sure?
Sure sir.
You are a student of history.
Sir.
Yeah?
Yes.
Tell me, before the Mount Everest was discovered, which was the tallest mountain?
Sir, I am unaware whether it was the second highest currently, the one which is second highest currently or not. Sir, I have to check.
Make a guess. You are a student of history, so make a guess.
Sir, it must be the K2, which is presently the second highest.
Give it a thought when you go back.
Sure, sir.
We don't have your DAF 1, so we'll focus more on your interest areas. Yeah?
Sir.
Best Outgoing Student Award.
Sir.
What does that mean?
Sir, actually of the 2020 batch, I was best student with respect to academics and other activities, including public speaking. So the few other accounts were taken into consideration before this merit was given to me.
But I see you don't play any sports or no physical activity, but you are still keeping very good and fit. How is it?
Sir, I used to play some activities, but some sports like badminton, but those were just for the fitness purposes, and I did not pursue it on the competitive level.
What do you do now?
Sir, after my graduation, I had been preparing for civil services examination. I did enroll in master's course after taking a drop.
No. What do you do now in terms of physical activity, fitness?
Sir, I do swim for fitness purposes.
How many days in a year?
Sir, I try as much as possible, at least 5 times a week.
Through the winters, rainy season and summers?
Sir, actually in Pune it's not that cold, so it goes up even up till about November. December and January we do avoid.
Yeah, very good. But I see you look to be, by going by these entries, best outgoing student, then creative writing on self-improvement. So you are a fit case for a personality test interview, right?
Sir, I try my best.
Tell me 2 factors that you consider very important as part of an improved personality. When you go before the interview board, which 2 factors you think would be more important?
Sir, 2 most important according to me would be, first, knowing my own self extremely well, and second would be possessing communication skills so that I can communicate it to them.
What is the first communication skill requirement?
Sir, it would be clarity of thought. Then only second would come, which will be fluency of language.
Is it?
Sir, I am assuming.
I always thought first is listening.
Okay.
Okay, my last question to you. You say that you presented a paper on philosophy of local self-government, Gandhi's philosophy. Yeah?
Sir.
What is his philosophy, particularly on local self-government?
Sir, Gandhi's philosophy regarding this was that governance should begin at the grassroots level, and then it should propagate to the higher levels. And if the real governance is happening at the lowermost level, then automatically the upper levels would be empowered.
Local self-government institutions, the local bodies, so to say, what is your impression about them? I mean, I personally think that these bodies, they represent the face of any city or a town. Yeah. So, in your observation, what is their image? How well they are doing?
Sir, in my view, these bodies have come a long way since the time they have been constituted, and they're in, like few areas, including village infrastructure, housing, they have done certainly good. However, there are issues regarding funds that India still faces and our local bodies still faces. But still, I think political bodies like Sarpanch, they do hold prominent position in society and a lot of respect in the eyes of people, which is important.
Quickly, just last bit of it. How local bodies can improve their finances, self-generated finances?
Sir, two things that I can immediately recall. One would be taxation like housing tax and taxes on other services at village level should be more efficient. And second would be the percolation of taxes from the upper bodies should be done and should be resource efficient. Yes, sir. And planning should be done accordingly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So you are a student of history.
Sir.
Now these days there is a lot of talk going on about rewriting India's history.
Yes, sir.
What does it mean, and do you agree with that move to rewrite India's history?
Sir, in my view, rewriting so forth, it is based on the facts and the proper analysis of the past. I think it is fine because India's history is very vast and very rich, and there certainly are instances when focus has been more on some kings and not on the others, which are equally important and has played a crucial role. So far it is based on facts. I think it is fine including them as well.
You know, the great Indologist, American writer, Wendy Doniger had said, Wendy Doniger, you know, have you heard that name?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I have.
No, anyway, she said in the case of India, it is not only the future, but even the past is uncertain. So how do you react to that? Was she right or was she wrong? If she is wrong, then why?
Sir, if she said this in terms of that the past of India has yet not been deciphered to its fullest potential, then it is fine because a lot of researches are still going on in things like Indus Valley civilization. However, if that is in some other context, then I think we need to...
It is in the context of history only. She has written about India's history.
Yes, sir.
And mythology and all that sort of thing, you know. I mean, I am really surprised that you didn't hear the name of Wendy Doniger. It's a very famous name. Her book was proscribed here, you know, for some time. Anyway.
So I think it is not uncertain when it comes to big events of Indian history, even if that is ancient history. For instance, Indus Valley civilization or the Gupta dynasty. However, few more research can happen if uncertainties in terms of lack of factual data, which can be corroborated by literary sources.
Then you have presented a paper on Gandhi's philosophy on local self-government and all that. I am not dealing with local self-government, but Gandhi's philosophy.
Sir, Gandhi's philosophy in two words would be Satya and Ahimsa. Okay. Beyond that, it was many other things that he clung on to.
You know, Gandhi had said that Bhagavad Gita is a treatise on peace and non-violence. Basically, non-violence. He drew inspiration from Gita to practice non-violence. Is it not a contradiction in terms? I mean, Bhagavad Gita preaching non-violence, Gandhi found that. Was Gandhi right or was Gandhi wrong?
Sir, in my opinion, Gandhiji was right here because Bhagavad Gita also depicts the upholding of righteousness. And even...
No, I'm not talking about righteousness.
Yes, sir.
Righteousness is relative. That's the thing. So I'm actually dealing with ahimsa.
Yes.
Ahimsa, non-violence. Does Bhagavad Gita preach non-violence?
Sir, in essence, it might not, but if we look at the entire context of Bhagavad Gita, then lot of ideas of Bhagavad Gita do preach non-violence, like focusing on your inner self. Then it will be Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is a thing that as per which you need to focus on the duty.
You know the context of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, sir. That's why I said in essence it might preach violence.
It was preached in the battlefield. And basically Lord Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight. It was not a non-violent fight or anything. You cannot have a non-violent fight with bows and arrows. So, how did Gandhi find this non-violence in Bhagavad Gita? Any idea? Can you give us your thought on that?
Sir, maybe Gandhiji viewed it because Bhagavad Gita's end goal was to achieve eternal peace. So through this violent means,
after death.
Yes, sir.
After everybody dies, there will be eternal peace. Is that what Lord Krishna has said?
No, sir. Maybe after the war, when righteousness will defeat the wrongful, then it will be peace. Maybe I am assuming.
Expect you to give very clearly thought out replies. That's the thing. That is it. Anyway, it's okay.
Hello, Avdhija. What does Avdhija mean?
Ma'am, Avdhija is the name of goddess Lakshmi. It literally means born from the ocean. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And sorry, ma'am. And ma'am, it was Lakshmi ji was one of the ratnas derived from the ocean during Samudra Manthan. So.
All right. So here you say that one of your interests is creative writing on self-improvement.
Ma'am.
What does that mean? Because self-improvement is generally, pointers to yourself. How do you indulge in creative writing here?
Ma'am, actually, when we usually read self-help books, we do realize that the self-improvement aspect of ourselves can also be written in the form of creativity. It can be written in the form of a prose or an essay or even a poetry. So sometimes when I discover something about myself around me, in the people around me, so I try to jot it down in the form of creative writing, maybe in the form of some essay, so that I can collect all the works of mine and maybe sometime in future I can write.
So have you been to other mocks before this?
Ma'am, just one.
Just one. So what were your learnings from that and how did you creatively jot it down?
Ma'am, that was my first mock. So actually I did write a piece of work after that, which was basically around the idea of intimidation, that whenever we do get intimidated, every time when we are about to embark on a new journey, and as soon as we become comfortable in that and we interact, and interaction and communication was the central idea of my work, because it not just reduces intimidation, but it also makes you understand the other's point of view and learn something from everyone.
So you say that you're also interested in visiting historical places, and you're currently located in Pune.
Ma'am.
So why is Shanivar Vada so mysterious?
Ma'am, actually Shanivar Vada was had been burnt down by the Britishers. So that is why a lot of manuscripts and other data associated with it got lost. And it still it stands at a position where they explain us all the history of the Maratha rule. However, a lot of things have been lost or maybe done willingly by during the British rule. That is why it is still a mystery as to what has happened to those things that have been lost.
That is the reason that makes with Shanivar Vada a mystery?
Ma'am, I am assuming in terms of the materials lost.
And is there any particular instance that comes in context of Vajirao in the history bit of Shanivar Vada, since you've also been a student of history?
Ma'am, I have to look into it. Sorry, ma'am.
So, which is believed to be the oldest stroke in swimming?
Ma'am, oldest stroke I have to check. I am assuming it should be freestyle, but I have to check.
Alright, so why have there been so many caste movements that have originated in Maharashtra? What is so specific about that state?
Ma'am, few reasons of the caste movements are, firstly, the size of the state has been extremely big, which includes, which were earlier some Gujarati regions also, some regions of Madhya Pradesh also, and some regions of Karnataka also. So many different regions with people having different beliefs and sets of ideas, so they naturally were from different castes. And when political movements arose, so they got an air that now they can raise their demands for their caste. Also, ma'am, I think another reason was because of the political conditions of Maharashtra. It kind of opened a Pandora's box, like when demands were given for few castes, few more came up with their demands.
Can you name a few movements? Because it is interesting the way you're looking at it.
Ma'am, Dalit Panther movement was one of the most famous one I can recall. And in 1990s also, I can't recall all the movements, but when coalition government era was going on, then few castes emerged with their demands.
Who gave us the term Dalit?
Ma'am, it was Jyotiba Phule who called them Dalits.
And why? Why did he feel a need for a new term to address the marginalized?
Ma'am, he felt that the community itself is overshadowed by being suppressed by the upper caste Hindu community and do not have an identity of their own. So he preferred to call them by a separate term.
Okay, so a lot has been talked already on Gandhi, but a lot is also going on in the country, right?
Yes.
In the spheres of religion, in the spheres of women empowerment. So tell me two areas of governance, of administration, where you think Gandhi is relevant even today. His ideas and the areas.
Ma'am, one would be one of his 7 sins that he said, commerce without morality. So that is very important. I think businessmen are making a lot of money, and governance can be possible if CSR can, corporate social responsibility can be looked into. And second, again, I would derive from his 7 sins, politics without principles. So that should not be the case in the country, and politics should be carried on with principles as the primary motive behind the governance.
Thank you, Avdhija.
Thank you.
Okay, so Avdhija, right?
Yes.
So you are a student of history, right? And you have already given quite interesting answers before me. So let's start with Gandhi. Okay. Now you have written a paper on Gandhi, right? I believe that it is something on, say, local self-government. And I also believe that you might be having the idea of the self-sufficient village of Gandhi. Do you really consider Gandhiji's philosophy of self-sufficient village and this local self-government was good?
Sir, in my opinion, it was good if we look at in the terms of the time when Gandhiji said that India was ravaged by the brutalities of imperialism and was not given the benefits of industrialization that happened. And Gandhiji viewed industrialization as a brutal system. So he believed that if masses who suffered a lot during imperialism, if they will be self-sufficient in their villages only with the employment generation and other things, so they will not be exploited and can take care of themselves. So that was a good idea in that context. However, after independence, a lot changed, including the second 5-year plan. So in today's times, village self-sufficiency is important, but at the same time, urban planning is also very important.
So in that context, can you tell me why Nehru and Patel, who had lots of differences within themselves, united in opposing Gandhi's idea of village self-sufficient economy as well as local self-government? Why?
Sir, in this respect, both Pandit Nehru and Sardar Patel, they were pragmatist more than idealist, and the experience that they gathered from across the world, they gathered the fact that India cannot cater to its population with self-sufficiency of the villages alone, and that is why they saw industrialization as the key which can alleviate India's poverty. And Gandhiji, had he lived long, maybe he would have abided to this idea as well, I believe.
So you are making a guess. Okay. Now you have been to Kolkata also, right?
Sir.
And you have been to GD Birla Center also. So in that capacity, can you tell me what is the role of capitalism in the Indian national movement?
Sir, capitalism did play a role in funding Indian national movement, including GD Birla himself. So they were, to great extent, earlier they were loyalist to the Britishers because to secure their interests. However, later on, they also became loyalist to Gandhiji because Gandhiji was a mediator, and he acted in a middle path, so as to mediate between both Britishers as well as the capitalist communities. And they thought that Gandhiji can secure their interest as well as as well as remained true to the Indian national movement also. So that is why their loyalty to Gandhi.
So how Gandhi as a mediator in between capitalism and British government is going to secure Indian national movement? You yourself stated it, he is a mediator.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, he funded, the capitalists did fund a lot of movements, including Gandhiji's foreign visits as well. Along with that, the industries, they set up a lot of industries during both the world wars as well as in between also, that did provide jobs and that did provide some relief to the working conditions, to so as to set examples that the Britishers are treating their workers very badly.
Avdhija is the name that is derived from goddess Lakshmi. So goddess Lakshmi is a Vedic god or Puranic god?
Sir, I am not sure, but can I make a guess?
Yes.
I believe Puranic god.
Okay, so if it is a Puranic god, can you highlight the difference in between Vedic and Puranic literature?
Sir, Vedic literature mainly revolved around the mantras, the chantings, and very few gods. And more, it was more dedicated to the natural forces, whereas Puranic gods and Puranic literature mostly talked about the society, the kingdoms, and the other contemporary things that were going on, and more on other things like sacrifices rather than mantras, chanting that was prominent in Vedic literature. Sorry, sir.
Puranic literature, is it not a liturgical literature? Do you know what is the meaning of liturgical text? You have been to Maharana Pratap's school, Udaipur also. Can you tell me what is the difference between Mewar and Marwar?
Sir, Mewar is the southern part of Rajasthan, which includes today's Udaipur district, Rajsamand, and Chittorgarh. And Marwar is the region which is mostly the western part of Rajasthan, which includes Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, Bikaner, and Nagaur.
Okay, that is the only difference?
Sir, this is the geographical difference.
This is the geographical
Sir,
difference.
there are other differences in terms of history also. The dynasties, Marwar dynasty there and Mewar dynasty in the southern Rajasthan, and other differences also includes the difference in cuisine, cultures, lifestyles.
Can you tell me something on Mughal-Mewar Treaty?
Sir, Mughal-Mewar Treaty was finally signed by the descendant of Maharana Pratap, who was Amar Singh. So when Amar Singh was on the throne, he sent his son Karn Singh to sign this treaty, and it was signed with Jahangir. After which it was dealt on two agreements, that the Maharana of Mewar would not submit in person, but his son will submit to the Mughal ruler. And second was that no women of Mewar would be married to the Mughal ruler.
You have written that you like visiting places associated with history. In this context, if I make you the chairperson of Archaeological Survey of India, what kind of the role that you envisage yourself in preserving the monuments across the country?
Yes, sir. Sir, I would take a few steps. First would be development of the areas nearby the monuments very well. If sustainable tourism can be practiced in and around the areas. For instance, recently I visited Mahabalipuram, and the areas around it were not very well developed. So if they can be developed, then automatically tourism will enhance. Second would be enhancing of the public utility services within the monument, so that people do not dirty them with the plastic bags and other commodities. And third would be ensuring that public guides are available in all the monuments, because in a lot of places when there are absence of guides or the AI technology guiding them, then they lose interest, and that is why tourism has not reached its potential in our monuments that it can offer to the people in and across the world. So these three steps I can think of.
Okay, take it. That would be it from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Avdhija, we see you soon. Please wait outside.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So Avdhija, how do you think your interview went?
Ma'am, it was okay. I had some gaps with regard to optional subject. I think that was one.
Yes, especially on the ideas of Gandhi. You really, because either you don't mention a prominent name in your DAF, or you should know everything inside out, right? You should be ready for any nook and corner you can get a question. Okay, so one is that, of course. Your answers on questions which were fact-based were good, right? but your answers wherein analytical thinking was required still need a little improvement, right? Overall, you have a very charming personality, very pleasing, easy personality, but your posture needs to be worked, right? You need to sit a little uptight, place your back on the chair's back, right? So that your posture doesn't dwindle in between, right? Otherwise, your smile is perfect, bang on. Work a little, of course, you would know, work a little on your dressing sense.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Today actually I
be a
had
little
nobody
more
to help me.
formal, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Nobody was there to help me with sari, so I had to wear a suit.
Not a problem. Sari is not like absolute necessity. You can wear a suit, but it should be lesser colorful.
Yes, ma'am.
and
Sorry.
Little more formal.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Your answers were particularly, as in, good when questions on history were asked, but it was not as well prepared when your region's specific questions were asked. For example, let's say the questions on caste could have been handled better, right? You're articulate in your thinking. For example, your answer on ASI, archaeological survey, was bang on, as in you ended with a proper thud. That is how I could feel. But work throughout on other avenues wherein questions can be expected. So go back, look at your DAF yourself, think of how a person can think around such things. If you're saying historical places, which all historical places can you be inquired, right? Because you come from many places in the country. So your area is very vast, but you really need to read a lot more about historical places, about creative writing. When you say prose, you should know that in which genre of prose do you write, because you can be asked question from anywhere on your DAF and your subject matter, and your answer needs to be shorter. You're speaking a lot. Listen to the question, try and estimate the core of the question and answer only to the core. Don't answer everything that you know on that particular subject, right? Answers need to be crisp and a little slower. Slower in the sense you need to take certain relevant pauses to make your answer meaningful to us, right? We should be able to understand your answer completely, just as much you're able to understand our question, right? This is what sir said, no? Listening. So listen and then try and estimate the core of the question, answer only to the core. Sir, anything else you would all want to?
When the historical places come, then you must also look at that act, the Places of Worship Act, which is very relevant in the present context. So maybe somebody will ask a question about that. And then you must know what it is and what it is meant for and how it is being molded and all that kind of thing, by judiciary and also by the others. So these things, must be ready with all the replies, facts about those things. Okay? Otherwise, okay.
Because when you say somebody like Gandhi, Nehru, these are the people whom today we really love to talk about.
I was tempted to ask you about Gandhi picking up non-violence in Bhagavad Gita. I mean, why? So that must give a thought to this.
You've chosen a difficult terrain by mentioning his name in the DAF. Yeah. But all the best. Very pleasing personality and very bright chances.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
All the best.
Hand, like you are sitting throughout like this, isn't it? Yeah? I think you will change hand position. No, that again is, little...
You can move your hands a little. You need to be easy. You don't need to look tensed. If you move your hands a little, not much, but a little movement is preferable than sitting up as in stout.
Okay.
That goes with the flow of thoughts. That goes with the flow of thoughts. It is in sync with that. It should be.
Yes, ma'am. I will try to make little hand movement, little bit of it, and free hands. Yes.
All the best of the
Thank you. Thank you.